More than 140 years ago, the Vikings came to Dannevirke in the Tararua district. Today, it's the young farmers for the East Coast Regional Final of the FMG Young Farmer of the Year. And in that spirit, they come from far and wide to do battle for a slot in the grand final.
Got my commercial pilot's licence and moved over to Australia, where I was a pilot station hand, mustering sheep, which was pretty interesting. The whole scale of things was a bit different to New Zealand. And I would set up my chemical for the maximum weight. I moved to Dowman after that, trying to get the jobs there, flying, but ended up on a crocodile farm, working with Australia's finest animal. They start hydrated for the day.
Daniel Seed is a 24-year-old full-time shearer, and he belongs to the Puketoi Club.
Over at the motorbike challenge, I feel like I did alright, got everything that I could do within the time. Had a good crack at it. Good variety of different things to do, and gives you an insight of more things outside of farming as well. It's like just giving it my best and enjoying it.
Most farmers are pretty good at mucking around with bikes, and the Honda Skills module is enjoyed by all competitors as it's a combination of mechanics, rider skill, safety and control over difficult terrain. The other Daniel Tarbotten, is a 23-year-old sheep and beef farmer from the Dannevirke Club, who's already competed in 3 district finals. He loves the practical stuff, so enjoyed the Honda bikes.
The Young Farmer competition is a lot of fun. I did the district final that was at the neighbour's place and really enjoyed that, and enjoying today so far, so we'll see how the day unfolds.
And also the Still Equipment Challenge. Daniel's getting married to Annalise in a few days, so his mind's on other things, including his parents' new farm.
I bought the farm in July, so that's been a really big challenge and pretty busy, but it's great fun, and there's got a lot of vision for the future. My fiancée Annalise and I are getting married next weekend, and she's up here this weekend, and then she's got to go back and do some more preparations for the wedding.
There was a time when horses provided the best transport on farm, but nowadays they're a bit of a novelty that Hamish Best is pretty unfamiliar with.
The horse module is a pretty different one for me. I'm not really much of a horse rider myself. My wife is.
Yeah, I ride, and we've got 5 at home. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And we're lucky that we had a bit of a school up a couple of nights before, just in case. So far it's been a pretty gruelling day, pretty physical, pretty mentally challenging, but that's what it's all about, so really enjoyed it.
George Butler is next to take the reins. He's chairman of his Tikakino Young Farmers Club.
I'm George Butler, I'm from Tikakino Young Farmers, just live just out of Waipawa on Tico Road. At the Ravensdown module we just had to identify some weed species. We had to identify some seeds and some fertilisers, and we had to calibrate a drench gun and set that all up. Setting up a drench gun, I do that almost every day. Fertiliser, I usually leave that to the fert rep, so that was a bit hard.
29-year-old share milker Nick Bertram from Dannevirke was competing at his first regional and found himself in a tricky situation.
I'm a bit pissed off. The owner's my grazier, and I'm not very happy with the condition. These were bloody nice calves when she took over.
So it looked like some fella just walked across the street and started barreling this lady for some skinny calves.
I'm thinking I'm going to have to take them home again.
They're not that bad.
And then I figured out that it was all part of the module, so I thought, I must be the HR guy here or some sort of agent or mediator.
So I'd supply the extra fee.
Oh, it depends what's on the contract, yeah. But then your grazing price would go down per week if you find a bit of extra. But once I figured out what was going on, it was pretty sweet.
Having to use diplomacy to calm an HR problem. Dealing with staff and suppliers is all in a day's work for a farmer. And it's all part of the contest too.
Maybe drop the grazing price down a wee bit.
It's always good to come along and find out what the modules and challenges are for the day. We never know beforehand, so it's great fun.
30-year-old Tony Dowman is a farm business manager for Landcorp, managing 9 farms. He was a grand finalist 4 years ago.
2012 was the last time I was in the competition. Made it through to the grand final. I actually missed out on entering last year, but I suppose all for the better. And so this year's my last chance, being 30 years old. All about winning today, really.
Just been banging around in those balls.
Yeah, charge.
Yeah, head to head, race on and puffed out different things. The old memory went a bit fizzled there.
While there's serious competition, there's also fun with a game of bubble or mini Zorb soccer. The primary-aged agri-kids and the teenagers in the Teen Ag competition also got to play before their competition began. But then it was all go as they worked in teams to build furniture. Then they competed in a race with all sorts of challenges. All with the aim of one Agri-Kids team and one Teen Ag team getting to their grand final in Timaru next month.
2, 1. There's a sprint down there to the other end.
Then the young farmers themselves had their race, the Silver Fern Farms Agrisports, which is all about completing a number of tasks as quickly as possible, but always keeping an eye on quality. They had to do everything from change a bike tyre to a bit of art celebrating Ravensdown's 30 years in the contest, a bit of milking,
I'll go back to sheep.
and then the culinary arts of making a smoothie. On a hot Danneberg day, there was one flavour you probably wouldn't choose.
Garlic. That's good.
There were Viking designs and seesaws to be made. Fitting a ram's harness to a sheep proved a real challenge, particularly for the dairy boys. And it was physical. Heaving wool bales and then hay bales.
Oh, they're starting to hurt. They're really starting to hurt. There's a heck of a lot there to do for lane 1 as well.
Before the balloon finally popped and it was all over.
Absolutely naked, but awesome.
And it was former finalist Tony Dowman who won the Agrisports and eventually the whole event. So he's on his way to represent North Island's East Coast in the grand final in Timaru.
It was a shock to the system having to compete again after 4 years.
Tony and partner Hayley Dell have an 18-month-old little boy, Andrew, and have just taken up a new role as farm business manager with Landcorp in the Manawatu.
We've got 9 farms, just short of 4,700 cows and a lot of staff.
It seems Tony had a knack for farming from his early days.
When Tony was old enough, he was quite keen to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever and help, and that's what got him interested in farming, dairy farming particularly.
So Tony's path in the dairy industry seemed assured until one day he had an accident.
I prolapsed and tore 2 discs in my lumbar spine. It was quite a defining moment when the specialist said, hey, listen, you can't practically farm again.
And when he'd had his back injury, it was such a huge disappointment. He thought he was out of the game.
Basically put me out of full-time farming, full-time physical farming. It's been 4 years since I last competed, where I got through to the grand final in Dunedin. It's one of the unique things around the competition that it's so diverse. It's going to be extremely tough to win the Young Farmer of the Year contest in Timaru. There's 6 other contestants that are putting their heart and soul into trying to take out this title, but that's also my goal, so I'm going to give it a bloody good crack.